Today we're going to talk about how to evaluate expressions using substitution. So this is where we're going to actually get an answer with these expressions because they're going to tell us what x is equal to, like x equals 5. They're going to tell us what number it's equal to, so we can like substitute it in order to get an answer for that term, okay, or for that expression. So to evaluate an algebraic expression, we substitute, hang on. Okay, so bear with me because my pen doesn't work, so my handwriting is going to be really bad because I just have to write it with my finger on my touch screen. Sorry, but to evaluate an algebraic expression, we substitute a number for each variable. Remember, variables are letters. I told you it's going to be sloppy, sorry. Okay, so we're going to put in a number for each letter, and they're going to tell us what number that is. So we don't have to find it. We don't have to just like guess or pick something. Okay, they're going to tell us what it is. Then we're going to use the order of operations to find the value, to actually solve it, of that expression. Just real quick, let's remember like what substitute means. So like if we're thinking like soccer, basketball, volleyball, when you substitute a player in for another one, it just replaces it, right? One player comes in, one player comes out. Same thing here, we're going to substitute in a number for a letter and take the letter out so that we only are left with numbers. Okay, so think about what that word means, substitute, when we're doing it with this math. Now let's remember all the different ways that we can write multiplication. Remember, a product is multiplication. Okay, so remember that a number next to a letter, just like here, like 4n, means 4 times n. Okay, we can also sometimes use dots for multiplication, so this would mean 4 times n as well. We can use stars like we do in class. And then also parentheses. So if you're looking right down here, oops, that's supposed to erase. Sorry guys, bear with me. So if you're looking down here, like parentheses, so a number next to a parentheses without any symbol, add, subtract, multiply, or divide, always means multiply too. Okay, just keep that in mind. Main thing we're going to be seeing right now is that like 4n, a 4 next to an n means 4 times n. Okay. Let's just go ahead with example number 1. So we've got expression k plus 10, and I'm just going to rewrite that, and I want you to copy it down with me. So we've got k plus 10, and they tell us k is 25. Okay, so where I see my k, hang on, I'm going to highlight it for you. I'm going to replace that k that I have right there with 25 because they said k equals 25. So I'm going to substitute it. If we're playing a game, volleyball, basketball, soccer, something like that, I'm taking k out and I'm putting in 25. So instead of a k, I'm going to have 25 because they said that those are equal. K equals 25. Then I'm just going to copy down everything else. So I've got 25 plus 10. Do we see how now we have an expression that we can solve? Okay, so we would just add those together, 25 plus 10, to get a 35. On a quiz or test, this is how we would show our work. We would just write the expression and then substitute in that number right here to show our work and then give an answer. Okay, so for number 2, we've got 4n when n equals 12. So they're telling us n equals 12. I'm going to circle that so that's really obvious for us. And then 4n, remember, means 4 times n. When we have a number next to a letter, it always means multiply. So this means 4 times n. Okay, so when we rewrite it, let's put that times sign in, because when we put in the 12, we don't want it to end up looking like 412. Okay, without putting the times sign in or the multiplication sign, because if we just put the 12 in next to the 4, it becomes 412. That's not what we want. We want 4 times n. So here we're going to substitute in our n for the 12. Okay, so we're taking out the n, we're putting in a 12. From there, we could use a multiplication chart. We could stack those numbers, 12 times 4, multiply it out. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So 4 times 12 would equal 48. Okay. If you want to start trying to work ahead, you can. You can always pause the video to resume if you get stuck somewhere. Number 3, evaluate A fraction bar B. Remember, a fraction bar means divide. Okay, so when we rewrite this, let's just rewrite it as A divided by B. And here we're going to see we have 2 different numbers to substitute in. Okay, we've got, and I'm going to use 2 different highlighters for this. We've got A is 16, so we're going to substitute 16 in for the A. And we've got B equals 2/3. So where we've got that B, we're going to put in 2/3. Okay, so I'm substituting in a 16 for my A. So taking out the A, putting in a 16, keeping my divide side the same, taking out a B, putting in a 2/3. Now we've got dividing fractions. First thing we have to do is make 16 a fraction. Think to yourself, how do we make 16, which is a whole number, into a fraction? We put a 1 under it. Okay. Remember, we don't divide fractions, we change it to multiplication. So think about that video that we watched, that rat video. Keep, change, flip. Okay, or if you learn copy dot flop, that's fine too. Keep, change, flip. We change it to multiplying by the reciprocal. So we keep 16 over 1 the same, change division to multiply, and then we flip 2/3 into 3 over 2. From there, we can just multiply across. So we'll do 16 times 3. Again, for me, that's not mental math, so I'm going to pull it to the side and do 16 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Ooh, it's a 48 again. On the bottom, we've got 1 times 2, which is 2. Last thing we want to do is simplify that. Remember, a fraction bar is division. So we've got 48 divided by 2. Well, an easy way to do this when both the numbers are even is you think to yourself, what is 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is 2 in my tens place. And then 8 divided by 2 in my ones place. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 48 divided by 2 is 24. We always want to circle that final answer. That way, whoever is grading our quiz, test, homework knows what our answer is. Okay, especially when we've got all that work going on. All right. Last one on this page, we've got 3x minus 14. First thing I want us to do is to break down that 3x. That 3x means 3 times x. I want to put in that multiplication sign so that when I substitute in my 5 for my x, I can substitute in without it becoming a 35 on accident. We always want to put in that multiplication sign. All right, so here I've got x equals 5, so I'm taking out the x and I'm putting in a 5. So I've got 3 times 5 minus 14. Here we've got multiplication and subtraction, so here's where that PEMDAS comes in. I'll write that on the side of the paper. Order of operations. Do we have any parentheses? Nope. Exponents? Nope. Multiplication or division? Yes. We've got multiplication, so first we do 3 times 5, which is 15, and I'm just going to bring it up over here because I ran out of room. And then I copy down everything I haven't done yet, which is my minus 14. Now I'm done with my multiplication and division, and I have my subtraction. 15 minus 14 is 1. So my final answer would be 1. Okay, so just to review kind of what we just did. All right, if we've got something that looks like a 4n or a 5n or a 7x or a 12y, always first put in that multiplication sign. Make it 4 times n or 5 times x or 12 times y. Then we substitute. So we take out our letter, put in our number. We substitute just like in a basketball game, volleyball game, soccer game. Okay, and then we just solve it using order of operations. So I want you to go ahead and try number 6, 7, and 8 on your own. I want you just to try it. Okay? If you get stuck, you can always resume the video, but try it and then use the video to check your answers and to watch through the process in case you get something wrong. All right. So if you're watching now, we should have already tried some of these on our own. First thing we would do for number 6 is we have to put in that multiplication sign. When a letter is next to a number, it means multiply, but also when a letter is next to a letter, it means multiply. So if you're just watching to see that little tip, then go ahead, pause, and try it on your own now that you know that. Otherwise, let's go through. Let's throw in that multiplication sign. So we've got P times Q. They tell me that P is 8 and Q is 4. I'm using these colors just for you, for the unpackers. All right, so I've got 8 going in for my P, because those are both yellow. I've got green, or 4, going in for my Q. We've got 8 times 4, which is 32, final answer. Notice how when I put in that 8 and that 4, that did not become an 84. It's not an 84, it's an 8 times 4. Make sure you put that multiplication sign in. All right. Now again, I've got my P times Q minus 10. So first I'm going to put in my P times Q. I'm just going to rewrite it with that multiplication sign. I'm going to highlight it for you so it makes it easier. We've got a P, we've got a Q, and we've got to substitute in those numbers that they told us. 8 for P, 4 for Q. So we've got, for P would be 8 times Q is 4 minus 10. Well, in our last problem, we already did 8 times 4, so I know that that's 32, because in order of operations, multiplication would come before subtraction. So 8 times 4 is 32, and then minus 10 would give me a final answer of 22. All right. Number 8, remember a fraction bar means divide. So the first thing I would do is rewrite this as P divided by Q. Again, I'm going to highlight that for you so that we can use those colors to help you. You can always use highlighted colors. You can use different shapes if it helps you to kind of organize what number is which letter. So for my P is yellow, that's my 8. My Q is green, that is 4. So I would do 8 divided by 4, which is a 2. Okay, so that's just the math. Okay, so on our quiz or test, we will have problems where it's just the math, just substituting in expressions. They tell you what the letter is equal to. At this point in time, we will not be solving any problems where you don't know what the letter is equal to. Okay, those are just simplifying problems if we don't know. We will not be doing any where it doesn't tell you. Okay. All right, but this can also work with word problems, and on your quiz or test you will have at least 1 or 2 word problems to deal with substitution. It's the same idea. They give you an expression, they tell you what the letter's equal to, and you just have to substitute it in, okay, and solve it. So here we have Miss Lakin's class is playing Gimkit. We're playing The Floor is Lava. The lava speed is covering 12 bricks every second. Okay, so if we're not familiar with this game, you are building bricks to try to outgrow the lava, okay? And the lava is rising 12 bricks every second, so it's covering up 12 bricks every second. So you would technically have to build more than 12 bricks every second in order to stay above the lava. This can be written as an expression of 12s, so they're telling us what expression to use, 12s. And remember, 12s means 12 times s, because a number next to a letter means multiply. We want to know how many bricks are being covered if it is being played for 7 seconds. Okay, so again, first thing we want to do, S stands for, so when we have 12S, that stands for seconds. It's 12 bricks for every second, which is why that S stands for seconds. And we want to know when S equals 7 seconds. Okay, so our expression, which we just rewrote over here, we're going to put here is 12 times S. Okay, they gave us all this information. This is exactly like how it will be on your quiz or test. We will give you all the information. You just have to know how to use it. Okay. Then we are substituting in. They're telling us S equals 7. So we're going to substitute that S with a 7. So I'm going to have a 12 times 7. Now for me, I don't know 12 times 7 off the top of my head, and I do not have a multiplication next to me chart next to me, so I'm going to just multiply. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So this would be 84. Let's go back up to the problem and think. It's wondering how many bricks are being covered, so it would be 84 bricks. This could be helpful for if you know how many bricks you need to build every like 7 seconds. Okay. Another situation, coupons. Okay. Naya is ordering our class some Chick-fil-A. She has a $15 off coupon. The amount she will be paying can be represented by the expression T minus 15. They tell us what the expression is. The expression is T minus 15. T means the total, okay, so the total cost before she hands them the coupon. Okay, so T stands for total before she hands them the coupon. They're saying if the total was $75 before the coupon, how much will Naya have to pay? So they're telling us the total is 75. They're telling us T equals 75. All right, so again, first thing we're going to do, rewrite that expression. T minus 15. And yes, they do write these like cursive T's when we do algebra because like a regular T just kind of looks like a plus sign. So we like to put that little like swoopy at the bottom, little like curl. So we've got T minus 15. They are telling us that T equals 75. So we're going to substitute wherever we see a T, we are going to put in a 75. So we will rewrite this as 75 minus 15. We will do that subtraction. If that's not mental math for you, stack them. 75 minus 15. Easy peasy. We've got 5 minus 5. 7 minus 1. So our answer would be 60. The question asked if the total is $75 before the coupon, how much will she have to pay? So this will be in dollars. Circle that answer. And we are good to go. All right. Main takeaways from today's lesson. If it's a word problem, they're going to tell you the expression to use. They're going to tell you what that letter is going to be equal to. Okay, so pick out the important information. All right. Remember, think back to what that word substitute means. If we have a K, we're going to take that K out and we're going to put in the number that they're telling us it is equal to. All right, and that is how you evaluate expressions.